Hey guys, I'm back, and again, as promised, this is the slideshow which is automated, which probably flips every 2 seconds. So we have seen how it happens manually. In this video, we will see how to automate it so that it flips every X number of seconds. Now, I have made some changes. Again, the skeleton of the code will be shared with you, and you can get started from there and to end up creating a slideshow like this. If you still have any questions or need to connect with me, you can click on this button and connect with me on the Slack channel. Now, I've made some changes, as in I have removed the dots to have any kind of a click, because we don't need them to be clicked because they flip every X amount of second, and I've also removed the next and the previous buttons. Now, this is the query that we will write, or this is the JavaScript that we will write. Let me clear this up. So let's get started. So as you remember, in the previous class, we created a slide index is equals to 1. In this scenario, we'll do a 0, and I'll shortly tell you why we do a 0. And then let's call the show slides method or the function. In this scenario, it will not take any parameters because it's all automated. So let's just do a show slides as a function, and let's just get started with the function. So let's define I, because we need I to loop through the slides, and let's get these slides, which is the same as we did in the previous lecture, where we get the get elements by class name, and then we pass in the my slides, and then similarly we do the dots. How do we do that? We do this dots, we replace the class with dot. So we have the slides, we have the dots. Now let's initialize the slides. I is equals to 0. I is less than slides dot length. I plus plus. Now we have the slides ready. So let's update the slides and make sure that none of them is displayed using the style dot display property and set it to none. This will make sure that no of the slides are displayed. Similarly, as I explained you, whenever you want to make a dot active, you will add the active class here, and before even we add the class, let's make sure that we initialize every dot to be as not active. So again, we do I is less than 0, I is less than dot length, I plus plus, and then let's just write the for loop where we will do a dots of I dot class name, because we need to make sure that we remove the class name of space active from the dots. So class name dot replace, what are we going to replace? Active, and then replace it with empty. So this is taken care of. Now let's just display the first slide that we had. So we will display slides of, in this case, slide index. Remember, we started with a 0 index, so we don't have to do a -1 here. So let's just do this dot style dot display is equals to block. So that displays your image. Let's just make sure we also display the dot, so that you will do using the same slide index dot style, no, in this case class name, and you do a plus equals to space active. So that will tell you which one it is. Now the problem is we do not have, the problem is this is not yet looping. So the way you loop it in JavaScript is you set a timeout, and in the timeout you call the function that you need to call, which is show slides in our scenario. And remember, we are not passing any parameters, and we need to make sure it runs every 2 seconds. So changes every 2 seconds. Now it is not still updating because we are not updating the slide index at all in this entire scenario. So even if it calls the same function again and again, so it runs once, at the end of it, it waits for 2 seconds and then calls show slides again. But slide index, just like a for loop, the index has to be updated. So how do we do that? So we just write a slide index plus plus. So let's see. Did you note two things out here? So when you run this again, it will always start from a 2 and not a 3. And after 3, it will break. So there are two things we need to fix. First, it needs to start from 1. And the reason this is happening is because you're using slide index as 0. Then you increment it to 1. And then you display the slide index of 1, which means the 0th element is never displayed. So we will just do a -1 again and -1 again. Let's try to run this. So the first slide should come up. Then we go to second, then we go to the third, and then it should boom. Exactly. Now how do we fix this boom? Well, the problem is if the slide index goes beyond the slide length. So slide index is greater than slides.length. What we will do is we'll initialize slide index to, and the first time you come in it's 0 and then it increments to 1, which means the first slide will be displayed when slide index is equal to 1. Because you are doing a -1 here, so it's a 0. So let's see now. Now it should go to 1, 2, and 3. Isn't it cool? So easy, and we see it on almost every website. And you really have nothing, no library to be used. All you just need to do is play with the plain HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and your slideshow is up and running within minutes. I hope you enjoyed this lecture. Let me know your thoughts in the questions section or comment section, or connect with me on the Slack channel, and I'll be happy to listen to you. And of course, don't forget, you still need to do a caption 2 and caption 3 on these images. So let me know what you think about these images. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next class.